of the International Criminal Court. We, as Sudanese civil society organizations and individuals residing in the European Union and the United Kingdom, are pleased to submit this letter to you, appreciating the significant role you play in achieving justice in Sudan and holding the perpetrators of war crimes, crimes against humanity and genocide that occurred in Darfur after July 1st, 2002 accountable. Pursuant to UN Security Council Resolution number 1593 dated May 30, issued against a few individuals such as Umar Ahmed al-Bashir, Ahmed Haram, Abdul Rahim Muhammad Hussein and Ali Kushayb. While the principal architects of these crimes have not been brought to justice and no charges have yet been directed against them. This has encouraged them to commit these crimes against in other areas of Sudan and repeat the same actions in Darfur itself after the success of the revolution in 2019 and the war of April 15, 2023. The Sudanese judicial system and the Public Prosecutor's Office lack the minimum standards of integrity and are still not independent, lacking globally recognized pillars, and that recently all judges who were removed due to their political affiliations have been reinstated. In light of the known lack of integrity of Sudanese judges, quasi-judicial mechanisms, especially the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, accept complaints against the government of Sudan without exhausting internal judicial remedies in many cases brought before them. We have reviewed the reports from the Office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court regarding the information of the Committee of Allegations of War Crimes Committed in Sudan, and the recent condemnation of the High Commissioner of Human Rights with regard to the widespread extrajudicial killing in Khartoum and Al Jazeera. As the war continued, it can be clearly seen the absence of the Sudanese Armed Force SAF role as they are replaced by the terrorist Islamic battalions. We have documented early at the beginning of the war the horrific massacre of youth under training at a camp, numbering over thousands who were killed based on ethnic killing committed by SAF and their allies against the civilians in El-Kanabi and in other areas of Al Jazeera and lately in Khartoum. In addition to that, the Air Force bombarding targeting the civil markets in Darfur, particularly Kuma and lately Tura, killing hundreds of women and children. Thus, we would like to draw your attention to the following. Number 1, the crimes that took place in Khartoum, Al Jazeera and Darfur fall under the categories of war crimes, crimes against humanity, ethnic cleansing and genocide. Number 2, the planners of these crimes are known leaders who managed the plans and orchestrated the crimes in a professional manner, exploiting state resources and national media to recruit militias to execute their schemes. Number 3, there were leaders in the Sudanese armed forces and Islamic battalions such as Al-Bara ibn Malik, the Special Action Forces, who directly supervised the implementation and issued the orders, and the Sudanese Air Force played a crucial role in providing a lifeline for these criminals who committed these crimes. Number 4, the security and intelligence agencies, through their various branches that dominated all facets of the state, managed professionally to shape public opinion among all Sudanese against certain groups, whether they belonged to African tribes through their Plan A and Plan B, which was completely opposite to the original plan, with the preserve the historical privileges since independence by dominating power and wealth and not sharing it with everyone. And what is currently happening of inciting hate speech against specific groups is just a chapter of the overall plan for historical grievances that could have been silent for decades. 5. We want to point out that the theatre of war was concentrated in Khartoum, and local leaderships in all states of Darfur had agreed between the army and the rapid support forces not to engage and to prevent the region from reverting to previous tragedy. But the SAF and its intelligence leadership violated all agreements and tried to shift the war to Darfur through plans we all recognize, and they have succeeded. Number 6. It is necessary that the investigation be conducted impartially without relying on any reports from organizations due to the apparent lack of independence among many organizations controlled by activists from the Nile region who turn a blind eye to the violations of the Sudanese army and cherry-pick facts. Therefore, we draw your office's attention to take this point into consideration. Number 7. The Sudanese Air Force has deliberately committed crimes by striking populated areas, knowing well there are no armed forces apparent, only committing these crimes because these civilians belong to certain areas or ethnicities. The latest of these was a series of attacks in Nayala, North Darfur, Qura and Kuma, or populated areas in the central states, as happened in the South Khartoum and Mbadda districts in the city of Umdurman, Khartoum state. Number 8. Citizens are continuously and covertly killed by army and the expertise of the Islamists, as happened in the Jazeera state, by eliminating dozens of Darfurians who had no connection with the rapid support forces, most of whom worked in the marginal professions. In addition to the mass killings of groups in the gold mining areas in northern Sudan, in areas completely controlled by the army. Number 9. The leaked atrocities of slaughtering civilians belonging to the Darfur region need substantiation and discovery of similar crimes committed covertly.